Remember last year's amazing trip? That cute first birthday party? All those photos, all those memories can be freed from your phone with a Shutterfly photo book. Rediscover and share your favorite moments with those you love. You'll be amazed how easy it is to make a photo book with Shutterfly and enjoy it for years to come. Get 40% off orders over $29 with code POD40 at Shutterfly.com and make something that means something.
Since you're new to H&R Block, we'll look at your returns from the last 3 years for any money your last guy might have missed, for free.
I could get money back from last year?
You could. We'll find any mistakes.
Could have really used that 2 years ago when I dated that mistake for 5 months.
Don't leave money on the table. Switch to H&R Block and get a free Second Look review. Second Look is included at no additional cost with the purchase of tax preparation. Results vary. All tax situations are different. Fees apply if you have us file an amended return.
Who lived in that area?
Many people who...
But most notably...
Susan B. Anthony.
Yeah, that's really cool. Susan B. Anthony.
Yeah.
This is the plaintiff, Jamie Latson. He says he gave the defendant a security deposit on an apartment he was renting. And before he even moved in, he discovered the place had 16 code violations on it. No one in their right mind would live in that place. The stubborn defendant refuses to return his deposit. And he's here in the name of justice, seeking the return of his hard-earned $675. This is the defendant, Barbara Hoffman. She says she's been renting this apartment since 1980, and this is a first, and this plaintiff takes the cake. The guy moved his girlfriend and baby into the place 5 days early, before there was gas or even electricity turned on. The plaintiff's mother then got involved and went ballistic over her prorating the rent. A big argument ensued, and, well, here they are. She's accused of multiple code violations.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
You see it, come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Mr. Latson?
Yes.
You're suing Ms. Hoffman for a return of your security deposit, plus you want to be paid for painting that you did to a place that you hadn't even signed a lease yet on.
Correct.
Okay, what happened here?
Well, I was actually at home. My mother happened to call me. She's like, hey, I found a place for you. I want you to go look at it. We go look at it, and I should have knew something was wrong then because she never came upstairs to show us the place. It was me and another person going to look. And
the other person was someone looking to rent it as well?
Correct.
So she had kind of like an open house at a certain time, just meet everybody there and rent it to the first person you like?
Correct.
Yeah.
So she stood downstairs. And,
why is that bad? You said I should have known something was wrong.
Yeah, because usually landlords walk you through the place. She didn't. She just stood downstairs and just said, go up and look. And so we did. We filled out the application.
Who's we?
Well, I did, and another person that was there looking at it.
So there's a little bit of stress going on there, a little bit of tension, because both of you want it?
Yeah, yes, we both wanted it. And she called me on a Monday, and that following Monday, and was like, hey, I'm going to give you the place. And I was excited to move in. I've been saving forever to get it.
Is this your first apartment?
It is. It is. Well, it's actually my second apartment.
Can I ask you how old you are?
Yeah, I'm 26.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's actually my second, but I was just excited, I was just like, okay, it's mine. I can't wait.
It's in a historical area, right?
Yeah, so I was excited about that as well, and I just couldn't wait to get in and cook.
Who lived in that area?
Many people who...
But most notably...
Susan B. Anthony.
Yeah, that's really cool. Susan B. Anthony.
Yeah.
How did you learn that? Not in that particular place, but in the neighborhood?
Yeah, just the neighborhood. The whole neighborhood is just her. Susan B. Anthony, the whole neighborhood.
All right, so anyway, go ahead.
So I actually walked through. She called me. I said, okay, well, I would love to have it. I met with her on the 4th.
When do you give her the deposit?
On the 4th.
Okay, how much was the rent?
$475. Yeah, so I gave her the security deposit. I've never signed a lease with her. Gave her the security deposit. I I asked her,
When did you give her the security deposit? What day?
On the 4th.
And then what happens? You ask her what?
I asked her, some things that needed to be done in the place. So
what did you say?
I asked her, I tell her, hey, I'll paint if you prorate the rent, because, she was kind of, up in age. So I didn't want to put the stress on her. I can do the work and you just prorate the rent and stuff. And I did. I never moved in or anything. It was just I go there 6 o'clock in the morning.
How much was she going to prorate the rent?
She only prorated $70.
And you both, so that was the deal you guys struck. She would prorate the rent by $70.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what happens?
She wrote, so I filled out a receipt.
Can I see what you signed? You said you filled out a receipt. What are you talking about? Who's the person next to you who keeps raising their hand? Keep your hand down. I'll get to you in a minute if you have something to do with the case. He's 26. I know the urge, believe me. I clean up after my 22 and 21-year-old all day long.
Okay.
All right.
So both of these?
Okay, so she gave you a receipt to acknowledge your security. That's good.
Correct.
And so what else?
So I asked her, after I got done painting, she brought the lease over for me to sign. I said, well, hey, before I sign it, can we, do a walkthrough? She's like, no. Sign the lease, and then we'll walk through the place. I said I wasn't going to do it. I'm not going to sign a lease till you come upstairs and look, at least at what I've painted, so you can know. I took pictures, everything like that. So she comes to the doorway, and as she's coming in, she's just so adamant about me signing this lease before she comes up. So I didn't do it. The registers on the floor where the heat comes through, there was none there. Like, you can literally fall through. So I wanted to point those out to her. I'm in there painting one morning. It was about 6:30, and I'm just like, well, what is this running by me? And he ran straight to a hole, and it was a mouse. So now I'm like, okay, we need to talk about some things. The mirror in the bathroom wasn't replaced.
Did you note all these things before you handed over money and agreed that you were going to rent it?
Yeah, under the understanding that she would, at least meet me halfway to take care of it.
Right, but when you say under the understanding, there's the understanding in between your ears and there's the understanding between two people. Why is there not, what happened there? What happened here, according to you?
On the 4th, when I gave him the keys so he could start painting, that evening there was a blue car in the driveway. And the blue car in the driveway was apparently a friend that was staying overnight. I'm thinking that it's the cousin that's going to come and help paint. Meanwhile, the tenants downstairs tell me that there is a woman and a child in the apartment upstairs, and the child is playing peekaboo with them, all right, in the yard. On Wednesday evening, we take out
How old was the child, supposedly? How old is the child?
A child.
She's 2.
Okay.
All right. So, meanwhile, Geraldine called me. The mother called.
Do you know Geraldine from before this?
I live in that district since 1980. My husband and I are in our house since 1985. So it's a small district. So Geraldine knew me, and she knew people that lived on Madison Street. She was very, very happy to know me and very happy that her son would be renting this apartment. When she called and was very upset about the prorate and about, all right.
What was she upset about the prorate?
That it wasn't enough.
Okay.
Okay.
And what else did she say?
I said to her, okay, and I'm concerned about the blue car and the child and the woman and the child, they're staying in the apartment. And she's like, what do you mean? I don't know anything about that. And I said to her, well, the tenants downstairs have informed me. And on Wednesday evening, I take out the trash, all right? They're toters, all right? And I was putting trash in there, and there were diapers in the trash. And she was just like, beyond herself.
Were you shocked that there was a woman and a baby? Because she's renting to him, not to him and a woman and a baby. It's a different...
What I was shocked at when she said she went into the garbage can and found the diaper, and I let her know that his girlfriend come and pick him up and take him to work because he goes over there at 6 o'clock in the morning between 6 and 7 to paint that apartment.
So what ends up happening? Can I ask you guys a question? What ends up happening? How does a standoff happen?
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So can a tenant refuse to pay rent if there are building code violations? What do you think?
Probably. I would think so.
Why?
Because, I mean, if it's a contract that they're in to pay for it and the person breaks it, then I would think the tenant wouldn't have to pay.
Fair enough. What do you say?
I think they can withhold some of the rent maybe not all the rent, based upon how much degradation is due to the code violation.
That's a perfect answer. Perfect. Okay, going inside the courtroom.
When she came over with the lease, I asked her, I said, can you come up and at least look at the registers on the floor? Like, my child was over there that morning, and I did change her diaper. She's 2. So when she came over,
you might want to wrap it up and
No, it was wrapped up, and it was in a bag. Actually, that's why I was like, you had to open a bag.
Was it in a bag?
No, it wasn't in the bag.
That's she has maintained that it was just thrown in.
Okay.
But anyway,
So
you say I will not sign a lease, and what do you say to that? Until you go upstairs and look at stuff, and what do you say?
He didn't say that he wouldn't sign a lease. He said that he would pay the rent on the 11th, and that we should meet on the 11th, which was a Saturday. When we met on the 11th, all right, they demanded the security
Who's they?
back. Mother and son.
Okay.
Demanded the security back, all right, and, mother said, all right, go get your stuff. We're leaving.
What happened before that?
All right. We were standing outside. Nothing happened before that.
It did.
What happened when we went on the 4th, that's when he gave her the money for $475. She did not want to come upstairs.
So what?
Anything. So when we walked back on the 11th, we went back over there to give her the other money that she wanted prorated. We said to her, there are some things that we need to address. Could you please come upstairs? She didn't even want to come upstairs either time to even address anything.
Okay. And then what?
So finally she goes into the room. She didn't say nothing. The next thing she said, I don't think this is going to work for you. I want my keys back. And he said, your keys, I just painted your apartment. She says, I want my keys. This is not going to work for you. She said, I gave you the apartment as is. And I said, well, according to the Craigslist ad, it didn't say as is. I said, any landlord would do repairs. There was a broken window. That picture's here, a broken window in the living room. The register, you could put your feet through it, needed to be repaired. The mice hole in the living room, because when we went the first time, Judge, it was 2 other people there besides us.
Yeah, I know, and that's, but
talk to
just
her like we wanted to.
right. And so what you wanted was to make sure she couldn't rent to the other 2 people, and then later negotiate stuff. You understand how you can't do that?
I just
but
asked
now,
her if she would do the
according to
repairs
you, there's a
before we
bunch of
start.
violations in this place.
Yes.
How did that happen?
Well, what happened was
you called the city.
The city, and then
You called them?
No, I didn't.
No, she did, but I didn't.
You did?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Out of
Because I wonder, was that place livable because of the things that we seen needed
so
to
the
be
city
repaired?
went.
When we went upstairs, Geraldine called the police. She called the police on me because I would not return the security deposit. That's where we were.
Okay, but I want to know about violations. That's what I want to know. Because I've been handed into evidence a list of like 16
We have
violations.
a certificate of occupancy.
You do or you don't?
Not at the moment.
Then you can't rent it. You know that.
The certificate of occupancy works with the city of Rochester, and they were minor issues.
I don't
And the
care.
certificate of occupancy.
The law is that you cannot rent it. If it's so minor, why don't you take care of it? You can't rent it out until you have the C of O. That's the law, right? You know that, right? Yes or no? Do you know
I
that?
do know that.
Okay, then for that reason, you need to return the deposit. That's the law. All right. How much was the deposit that you put down? $475?
$475.
And then what else are you suing for? You want $200 to paint, but here's
Yes, because well, when I didn't want to, move. But when she came and said, this isn't a good fit for you,
right. But nobody ever agreed to pay you $200 to paint. But I think I'm going to make you both absorb the risk of having done that. I'm going to order to pay you $100 for the paint job.
Okay.
$575 verdict for the plaintiff.
Thank you.
Well, no doubt both parties have learned something from this case. The plaintiff's going to get his $475 back plus $100 for painting. Ms. Hoffman, you obviously learned something because you didn't have the right to rent it. What do you think about that?
When you are working on a certificate of occupancy, that is agreeable with the city of Rochester.
You didn't have it.
We were working on it.
But you didn't have it.
All right.
Working on it's one thing, having it's something else,
That's
right?
correct.
Am I right?
That's correct.
That's what the judge said.
That's
you didn't
correct.
have it, you didn't have the right to rent it. Well, you've learned something, haven't you, from
Yes,
this?
thank you.
Okay. Do you have a certificate of deposit of occupancy yet?
No, we have changed. This will be the third inspector for that particular
You
piece
still
of
don't have
property.
a CO?
No.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Oh, boy,
This
oh,
week.
boy. Well, you learned something today, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You better get it before you run it out again. All right. Mr. Lautzen, I think you learned something too.
I did.
Sorry, don't paint before you have a real solid deal.
Don't paint anything.
Your mom's a big help here, huh?
She is.
And guess what?
What?
She rented it again with no C of O. It's rented now.
It is?
Yes. People living in there now with no C of O. We went back down again once we saw it reposted on Craigslist for $4.95, and there's the same violations and no C of O. So people living there now without one.
How about that? Well, both of you learned something, so
Correct.
good going, okay?
Right.
Congratulations. Thank you. Glad you got your money back. Okay. Harvey, what do you think?
Okay, I've got to say, this guy just nailed it, that it's true. I mean, just because there's a violation here, a violation there, doesn't mean that the tenant can stop paying rent, and sometimes not even paying, they have to pay all the rent. In a case like this, though, it was an illegally rented apartment. There was not a certificate of occupancy, and that just disqualifies the landlord. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
What if there were a medicine that could heal almost anything?
That would be great.
But they didn't want you to know about it.
Sorry, who's they?
Some people are following me, and I brought my tortoise.
From executive producers Mike Judge and Greg Daniels and co-creators Joe Bennett and Steve Healy comes an animated comedy thriller about what it takes to change the world. Common Side Effects. New episodes, Sundays at 11:30 p.m. on Adult Swim. Now streaming on Max.
We're so done with New Year, New You. This year, it's more you on Bumble. More of you shamelessly sending playlists, especially that one filled with show tunes. More of you finding Geminis because you know you always like them. More of you dating with intention because you know what you want. And you know what? We love that for you. Someone else will too. Be more you this year and find them on Bumble.
This is the plaintiff, Brianna Pope. She says she's been friends with the defendant for the past few years, and she loaned him money so he could repair the transmission on his truck. Her so-called friend turned out to be a gigantic louse because he hasn't paid her back the $1,933.35 he owes her. She has no other choice but to sue him, and that's just what she's doing in this courtroom today. This is the defendant, Vincent Howard. He says he and the plaintiff were together, and when his truck broke down, she said she'd pay to get it fixed, and him having a working truck benefited the both of them. She helped out while they were together, but now she's just mad they've gone their separate ways and is trying to make things hard for him. Oh, her money she gave him as a gift? No way. He's accused of trying to weasel out of a loan.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff loaned her friend money for a transmission and says that the guy stiffed her. Now, the defendant says the two of them were a thing and the loot was a gift. It's the case of the fix is in.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome in.
Brianna Pope, you are suing your former friend Vincent Howard for $1,933 and some change that you say he owes you for a loan that you made to him previously. What's going on?
Yes. In October of last year, Vince asked me to borrow money for a transmission.
How did you two know each other?
We met when I first moved to Atlanta.
And what was your relationship with him?
We were friends at first. We ended up being together. And then.
Okay. Yeah. And did this happen while you were together?
Yes.
Okay. And what happened?
I gave him, he asked me to not co-sign, but sign for a loan for a care credit for him to get his transmission fixed on his car.
Why didn't he do it?
I'm guessing that his credit wasn't.
How do you get bad credit?
I'm not paying. I'm not paying.
Do you see the connection?
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
yeah.
I mean, I should have
not
thought
your
about that.
smartest move.
Right.
Okay. And did you make it clear to him that he had to pay you back?
Yes.
And what'd you tell him?
I told him that is no interest on the credit card for 6 months. So if he pays that back in 6 months, he needs to pay it back because I have other obligations that I wanted to do with my credit.
In fact, you're trying to clean up your credit.
Yes, I got rid of all of my credit cards.
So how does a person who's trying to clean up their credit, who's taken the Herculean effort of getting rid of all her credit cards because she knows how important this is, then for a man, open up a credit card and hope he pays? Tell me. How old are you?
I'm 28.
Oh, yeah, you should know better.
Yes.
This is like a 16-year-old move.
Right.
Okay. What's going on?
How are you, Judge?
What's going on?
Okay, so if you had a boyfriend or girlfriend and they said, hey, I got bad credit, I need a transmission, can you help me out? Would you put it on your credit card?
I would probably not because, I mean, at the same time, how long have y'all been together?
Well, I say a year.
Let's say a year? Probably not because you just never know, like.
Yeah, it's true, you never.
Y'all break up and then it ruins your credit.
You're missing one big point. The person has bad credit and they're asking you to put it on your card. What's problem?
Those are important questions you ask before y'all start dating.
What?
You know?
Well, I don't think you sit down and say, I don't think you sit down with somebody at a bar and say, what's your credit score? I don't think you say that. I mean, I just don't think you say that at all. Going inside the courtroom.
She's right. She did sign for the finance for the truck. And I agreed to pay her, money back. But I mean, she did it because she wanted to do it. I didn't.
I'm sorry, did you agree to pay her money back?
I told her I would pay her money back, yeah. But
well, then why am I here?
That wasn't the agreement. That wasn't the initial.
What was the initial?
I asked her to finance the truck, and she did it. So I told
just
her
for free? Just because you're so cute and irresistible?
I think so.
Really?
I didn't twist her arm to do it.
She says that you were very clear from the beginning that you had to pay it back within the 6 months because that's the only period of time that there wouldn't be interest. For 6 months, you could pay $90, which was the minimum, but you were never going to pay it off in 6 months if all you were doing was paying $90. And that's what you were doing, right?
That's because I wanted to.
Oh, so you wanted to pay $90 even though this was a gift that she gave to you?
Yeah, because she asked me, could I pay it? So I gave her money to pay it.
But why pay it if it's a gift? You don't have to pay anything if it's a gift.
Yeah, I didn't have to do it. I did it because I wanted to.
You're such a good guy.
I mean,
you are. You're such a good guy. You're making monthly payments on something that's a gift. It's almost uncanny.
Well, I started the payment out myself.
And then what? Why would you pay it yourself? It was a gift. You're not supposed to have to pay it back, right?
No, I mean, initially.
This is sarcasm, you idiot!
I put $600 down on the truck initially to begin the whole process.
Wow, man, you got it going on. I can see why you fell for this.
Right.
Right. Are you out of your mind?
What did she fall for? I didn't agree to pay anything back.
Except you're a liar. You did agree to pay it back, and the proof of it is that every month you were paying the minimum amount. That is not what you do if someone gave you a gift. You see?
I started paying her because she was complaining every day.
No.
Yes.
No, you could say that, but you're a liar. You started paying her because you're supposed to finish paying her. But you're such a loser that you never had the money. You can't make enough bank to go ahead and pay her back. You're a dummy, but you're a loser. There's a big difference, okay? She was trying to do a nice thing. You are just a mean, horrible person. Repeat after me. I am a mean, horrible person.
I'm a great person.
Yeah. With really bad credit, babe.
Did you?
How much have you ended up? You've had to pay his late payments because he didn't pay?
Yes.
All right. Can you show me the proof that you paid the late payments? That's what I need. Give me the statements if you have all the statements.
Yes. And the top ones I highlighted through the late payments.
So then if it's not paid in full in the 6 months, they go retroactively and charge you the interest.
The back interest. And that's what they started doing.
Did you know that? Because it doubles the payment. Did you know that?
It wasn't my problem. I didn't finance
Yeah, you know what? It's your problem, pal. Verdict for the plaintiff, $1,933.35. And now it's your problem. And do you see why you shouldn't have done that? All righty. Lesson learned.
So no question about it, the plaintiff is going to get the money. Mr. Howard, you just had the book thrown at you. And in fact, you know, this made you look so bad. How do you feel about that?
I feel great. It's It's okay.
You don't care?
Oh, I mean, I care. It just, it happened the way it happened.
You don't care. Thank you
She
very
did
much.
the
You
loan.
got-
It was good.
Okay.
I appreciate
all right.
it.
All right. All right. I got to think. You must have learned something from all of this, haven't you?
Yes. very much.
Like, tell me what?
That I'll never do anything like that again for anybody. Yes.
Well, I'm glad you won. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Oh boy, what do you think, Harvey?
I mean, first of all, like the judge says, there's a reason people have bad credit. They don't pay their bills. But also, if you are romantically involved with somebody and they ask you for money and you don't want to do it and you say no and they start pressuring you, you got to start thinking, is this the right person? That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Manish Ghosh. He says he rented his car to the defendant so he could drive for Uber, and when he returned it, the car reeked of urine. That's right, the guy did his business in the front seat and the back seat. He also banged it up, got tickets, and is a crazy individual who now owes him $5,000 for everything he's out. So he's suing. This is the defendant, Fareed Zamanzada. He says he got a call from the cops one day and was told he was going to be placed under arrest because he stole the plaintiff's car. Huh? He had a verbal agreement with the plaintiff to rent the car week to week. He had already returned it to him, and the plaintiff caused him undue stress and aggravation. Now the crazy man's suing him for all this money for no good reason. That's outrageous. Bottom line, he's done with the guy and wishes he would just go away and leave him alone once and for all. He's accused of stinking up a car rental. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $5,000 for false allegations, lost wages, and repairs.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff rented his car to the defendant so he could drive for Uber, and the car came back with urine stench and tickets. But the defendant says the plaintiff called the cops and falsely claimed the car was stolen. It's the case of urine Uber trouble now.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Mr. Ghosh, you are suing Mr. Zamanzada for $5,000 for damages stemming from a car that you rented to him, and you have a counterclaim against him for $5,000 as well for making false allegations to the police and for lost wages and some other miscellaneous items. What is going on, gentlemen?
Can I start? Yeah, the thing is, I rented him on 6th March 2018, and
You rented him what?
My car.
What
TLC
kind of car is it?
It's a Toyota Camry.
Toyota Camry.
Yeah.
Okay, you rented it to him for what?
For drive. He gonna drive for Uber and all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you used the car. You didn't have your own car to be an Uber driver?
No.
Okay. And so you used the car for how long?
It is almost 6 months, Your Honor.
Okay. And what goes wrong?
The thing is, at the beginning, I told him the rent is $350 a week.
Okay.
So he first 2 weeks, and like he was negotiating. Then I said, okay, for first 2 weeks, I'll give you for $300, but after that, you have to pay me $350. But in this within this 2 weeks, he had an accident, and when the 2 weeks passed, he never paid me $350.
Would you accept $300?
Yeah, I accept $300.
Okay, and then the week after that, you also accept $300.
Yeah,
And the week after that, and the week after that, and the week after that. Do you have a contract with him where it says he's supposed to pay $350?
No, I don't have.
Okay,
I don't have
and
any
what were
contract.
you supposed to pay, $350 or $300?
Your Honor, the deal was $300. You know, and the car 2014, this is average rent for this car. For any car dealer, when you go, Your Honor, this is $300 for this car.
When do you decide and why that you're going to take the car back?
On July, what happened, when I tell him, he say he gonna raise the fees, but he go up to
Wait, he said what?
He said he gonna give me $350, but then he gave me $325 a week. And that time I decided, no, I'm gonna take my car back because I can't do with that. So then I told him on August 21st, I think, I told him you have 1 week.
Okay.
So
on August 21st, you tell him you have until August 28th.
Yeah, and then he say, okay, I'm gonna give you a car back. But after 2 days, I noticed that he had a ticket which is pending. He didn't pay that, and he didn't even tell me. So the ticket came by mail, and I text him that you gotta pay that, and he said, okay, I'll pay.
Okay, did you pay the ticket?
Your Honor, I was going to for hearing for the judge, because that wasn't my fault, and I wanted for hearing. He put pressure on me to return the car. I said, the deal is not over. You have to tell me 1 week in advance.
He says he did tell you 1 week in advance.
No, Your Honor. I have all documents with me, as taxes with me. All is, you can read it, Your Honor. I have every proof from my payment, 300. He never told me 350. The deal was 300.
Well, I'm not worried about that at all.
Oh, okay.
He's not going to get 350 unless he has a contract that says 350 when he spends a year accepting 300. Don't worry about that, okay? Now, you end up calling the police and telling them that he is not authorized to have your car.
Yeah.
Okay. And then why didn't you just call him and say, I told you to return the car?
I was calling him, but he keeps telling me that he had another 2 tickets, that if I return your car, I'm not going to pay those another 2 tickets. I have the proof in the texting.
Let me see that.
Yeah,
I want to see that, because that shows a certain amount of, it takes a certain someone to say that. Can I see it in your phone as opposed to a picture of it? I mean, thank you for taking a picture, but I'd like to see the...
Sure.
You're very manipulative. He, over and over, he says, you need to bring my car back, you need to bring my car back, you need to bring my car back. Don't go too far. I don't want you to be in a problem with the law and insurance. He says, are you coming or not? The car will be returned when their deal is over next Tuesday. I will return it Saturday. He tells you no today, and you say peaceful. He says right now, and you say don't change your mind. One day tell me Friday, and the next hour tell me tomorrow. It's not going to be like this. Don't threaten me. It's against the law. When I rent the car, it's temporarily mine. He keeps maintaining that he told you to return on the 28th, that he gave you 2 extra days because that's what you asked for. Did he pay for the week of August 28th? Did he pay on August 28th?
Yeah.
When did you get the car back?
On August 31st.
How did you get the car back?
He left it like 5 miles away from my home and left the key, everything over there. But when I go there and he's telling me...
Why didn't he bring it to you?
That's what my question is. I was texting over there that why didn't you give it to me?
Okay, so why did you drop it off 5 blocks away?
The way, Your Honor, each taxes, he threatening me, he said, do you return my car or not? Today, he says, you just read it.
No, my question is, everybody stop. I asked a simple question. Why did you return? What happens is the police come and talk to you, right? Because he calls the police, correct?
No.
Did the police call you?
Police called me on the Tuesday. I was already returned his car last Friday. The car was already returned, Your Honor. And the police told me, you are under arrest. We issue you...
On the phone?
Yeah, on the phone, yeah.
How can they tell you you're under arrest on the phone?
No, he says you are...
There's a warrant for your arrest, or...?
Yeah, he said you come to precinct because your arrest warning has been issued, your plate and your license, you have to come to precinct. And I asked the police, sir, what is that for? He says, do you rent a car from Mr. Ghoshal? I said, yes. He said, why did not return his car? I said, sir, I returned this last Friday. I have evidence. He said, okay, hold on. I gave you a call back in 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
Then officer called me back. And he says, Zamanzada, you are fine. I said, what do you mean? He said, you are okay, your case is closed. Probably he called him, make sure with him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because I was so nervous, Your Honor, because I was under arrest. Even...
You're not under arrest, you're on a telephone call.
But even...
And you're asking for how much for that? You want $2,000 because he made a false allegation to the police? I mean, he's on, you know. When did you call it into the police?
I called on 31st. I went to the police station and make a file like 8 p.m. on 30th.
And when did you get the car back?
On 31st, when I get the car back, at 9 p.m., I went back to police station on 31st August and made all the reports. Like, I don't want to go further.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe it just took a while. All right, let's see what you're suing for. You're suing for, you want to go retroactively and get paid the other $50. We've already talked about that. Now you're also suing for car key replacement. And he wants $100 for that. Did you return the key?
Yes, Your Honor.
How many keys had he given you originally?
Just one.
And you left it parked with the key inside?
On top of the rear tire,
Okay,
yes.
why car key replacement are you suing for?
Because I didn't find his key.
It wasn't inside of the car?
No.
Where do you say you put the key?
I have a taxes, Your Honor. You can check there. I taxed him. The car key is under the rear tire on top.
And did you look there and it wasn't there?
Yeah, I look everywhere because it was empty and nothing over there.
Okay.
But I bring my another spare key, so I opened it with that.
All right, and then now let's talk about a parking ticket. You want $118 for a parking ticket. I do see the text where you tell him that you paid the parking ticket. Did you pay the parking ticket?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, do you have any proof that you paid it online?
Online, but this didn't go through.
Okay, so you owe $118 for the parking ticket. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes of this thing, which is the section of your lawsuit covering the damage to the car. According to you, you had to have the car cleaned and shampooed. Why?
Because he peed inside, and when I opened the door, it's totally messed up. So I had to throw the.
How do you know he urinated inside your car?
The smell totally is urinated smell. So, anybody can tell that. So.
Okay. Do you have any pictures or anything to prove to me what you're saying?
I have a video or photo inside a car. Just give me a minute.
Also, may I see the receipts for car cleaning and the shampoo?
Yeah, I have everything here.
Also for the leather cover and the replacement.
You know how I'm going to explain? It's when he left it within
Did you
an hour.
urinate on the man's car out of spite because you were losing your gravy train?
Can I explain to you?
Yeah, did you or not? Did you urinate on the man's car, in the man's car?
Judge, I'm not animal.
Okay.
I'm human.
So are Ubers generally clean?
Yes.
They are?
They are.
Okay, what is cleaner, Ubers versus Lyfts? Which are cleaner generally?
I think an Uber is cleaner. Every Uber I've been in has always been cleaner than a Lyft.
What do you say?
Definitely Ubers.
Really?
Yeah.
Any Lyft fan?
I say Lyft.
Because?
My Lyft, yesterday he had charge reports in there. I've been in Lyfts with mints, with water bottles, all type of stuff. Uber, they don't, get that same, customer
I've been
service.
in Ubers that gave everybody in the Uber shots and had a disco ball. Yeah.
Okay.
I like Uber.
If we're going to have a brawl over this, it'll be the first brawl in America over Ubers going inside the courtroom.
You're angry. I can tell from the text that you're angry that he's making you return the car. In fact, you returned the car really upset about having to return the car.
Your Honor, I upset, but not physically. Everybody can argument over the phone with the parents, with the brother, with the sister. I just explained to them on the phone. Brother, whatever, argument is part of our life. Get mad is fine, but as long as you...
Criminal mischief is part of a lot of people's lives.
As long as you not get physical, you're okay, fine. I told them I return your call
Why'd you return it 5 blocks away? That sounds spiteful.
5 miles away.
5 miles?
No. Yeah.
Why
Only
would
1
you...
mile.
Wait, stop. How's that returning a car when
Your
it's
Honor,
5 miles away?
not
That sounds
5.
spiteful.
This is 1 mile, not 5 miles. You can.
Why are you
take
returning it 1 mile
Okay.
away? That sounds spiteful.
I have reason for. I don't want any violence happen there. I just want to give away to be away from him. Then for a couple of days,
I know. All you got
will
to do
talk to
then
him
is
because he
1
was so
block
mad.
away, drop it off. He won't even know you're there. He doesn't know where to pick it up until you tell him.
Yeah,
So-
because I was with my cousin. They told me not park there. Because, if you keep distance from this guy, because you want to do everything done by peacefully.
This is a video that you took of the inside of the car?
Yeah.
I got the car, he just left it like that. And car is totally scratched. Scratch here, that wasn't there. But here, you see, he just make it nasty and he pees inside. He make a pee-pee inside, that's why his whole, it smells like, and all papers is gone.
Okay. All right. Now, you are suing for lost wages from 8:30. You returned the car 8:31, so I don't know why you would do that, until 9/8. And your argument for that would be what? Did you actually pay for the car in September at all?
Yes, miss.
No, you didn't.
Each week, I pay him in advance, Your Honor.
Yes, I know. I'm taking that into account. The last payment I see is on August 28th. So that payment from the 28th takes you until the 4th. You had it until the 31st at night, so the most you can sue for are those last 3 days. Now, how are you going to prove how much profit you make on that car per day?
I make from $100 to $150 every day.
How are you going to prove? Not how are you going to flap your gums in my courtroom. How are you going to prove how much you make?
I have my Uber statement, Your Honor, how much I earn every day.
Okay, let's see your Uber statement.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to need you to come over here, please.
Okay.
And I want you to show me other weeks. Show me like 5 or 6 weeks worth of
No
work.
problem, Your Honor. Okay, I will do that. They show, Your Honor, from September 3rd to September, 30, I made $1,000, $346 in 1 week.
From September 1st,
Right
3rd
there,
through
yes.
September what? 10?
Yes.
In a week?
7 days, yes.
In a week you made 1,300?
Yes, 1,300,
Okay.
400.
Now-
400 something.
Did you find another car to rent?
Yes.
What kind of car did you get?
This is same car.
So you mitigated your damages. Why would you be entitled to damages because you were out of work or you had no car?
No.
You were working.
Because, Your Honor,
Go back to your podium with your phone and get away. Go over there. I find that what you owe him for taking the car on Friday night, you owe him $128.57 because he paid for it and didn't use it. So you owe him $128.57, but you owe him the following. I find that you owe for the key. If there was some kind of mix-up or some kind of whatever, next time don't leave a car a mile away from a guy's house or 5 miles away. I find that you owe for the parking ticket because that still hasn't been paid. I find that you owe for the car cleaning and shampoo. And I find that you owe for a few of the dents that I see that were on the video. So I find that you owe him $508. If I subtract from that the $128.57, then that means a net judgment in this case in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $379.43. Good luck, folks. I take it now you're putting all this stuff in writing, right? Yeah.
I have the new ones.
Well, in these two competing lawsuits against each other, the plaintiff ends up with a little over $380 in that figure. Number one, what's your reaction to what has just happened in here?
I think that was misunderstanding. So I tried to explain to judge, but she didn't give me a chance to.
Oh, come on, she gave you so many chances, it's unbelievable.
No, she always would interrupt me. I don't know, that was much more explanation to this case.
Okay, all right. Most people would disagree with you. She gave you plenty of chances to talk. All right, Mr. Gosh, if you'll step out here. You were suing for $5,000. You didn't get very, very much out of that. Well, what's the condition of the car? I mean, it really sounded terrible from what you were saying in the courtroom.
Now it's good.
Now it's good?
Yeah, I fixed it and all that stuff, so now it's good.
All right. You're going to drive it? You feel okay driving it?
Yeah, I feel.
Good luck. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Harvey?
You know, the judge mentioned mitigation of damages. That means you have to minimize your damages. If you build them up, you're going to be out of luck in court.